Thanks for joining us for News 4 at noon. I'm Lindsey Nance. Developing right now, a man is recovering this morning after he was shot in the face in North Nashville. Here's a look at the scene. The shooting happened overnight just after 2 a.m. on 24th Avenue North in Nashville. The man was shot in the face following a fight with another person. Also developing right now, 2-year-old Anthony Thorpe was critically injured at Oakwood Flats Apartments. The boy's mother called police and told officers that Jeffrey Thorpe left a gun on the bed and the child got a hold of it. The boy was shot in the head. The father drove the baby to the hospital and he never came back. Children ages 5 to 11 can now get their COVID-19 vaccine. Yesterday, the CDC approved Pfizer's vaccine for that specific age group. News 4's Alexandria Adams is breaking down what exactly this means for you and for your children. New data shows that most COVID cases in kids are going undetected. According to the CDC, for every confirmed case, about 6 cases in children go undetected. Temperatures continue to drop this week, and you might be wondering if it's time to turn that heat on. I know I already have. Well, experts say the earlier the better. Pretty good timing to be talking about this too, because we woke up this morning and it was freezing cold. Dan, how much longer are these cold temperatures going to last until we heat up a little bit?
Yeah.
Council members plan to meet with the mayor today. They wrote a 3-page letter in response to lawmakers rolling back COVID rules. Last week, they passed a law to keep health departments from making pandemic decisions. And Governor Bill Lee also responded yesterday to the letter of concern. He actually praised lawmakers for addressing what he calls an overreach of the state by the Biden administration. For the first time in more than a decade, the Supreme Court will hear arguments on a major Second Amendment case. Justices are back on the bench today for a case about a gun law in New York. We are 11 days into jury selection for the Ahmaud Arbery case and still without a jury. One of the attorneys is now talking about a change of venue. Now, this comes after half of the people called for the trial responded. We turn now to the deadly movie shooting involving actor Alec Baldwin that left a 42-year-old cinematographer dead. Investigators are now focusing on the people that handled the gun. National correspondent Miguel Almaguer has the latest. Derrick Henry is officially on the mend this morning. The Titans star had foot surgery yesterday. So where do we go from here? The Titans finalized their deal with Adrian Peterson yesterday.
Champions!
There we go. For the first time since 1995, the Atlanta Braves are world champions. The Braves shut out the Houston Astros 7-0 last night in Game 6 of the World Series. Now to a sweet story from Clarksville. A kindergarten student at Clarksville Montgomery County Schools had one wish for his birthday. He wanted his bus driver, Mr. Mike, to come to his party. Well, that's exactly what happened. It turns out Mr. Mike was actually the first person to RSVP for the birthday. Metro Police are investigating human remains found around Arlington Avenue by I-40 and I-24. Police tell us a surveyor found the remains on this plot of land by the 2440 split. Police are trying to figure out who this person is and how they died. Right now, police are questioning a woman accused of stealing a car with a baby inside, but she was actually arrested on separate charges. Brandy Rhodes was found in a stolen car Wednesday. Police also arrest a man for allegedly starting a fire in a hotel room. Bashara was able to escape and the fire was contained. Now, police did find meth and charged him with the intent to sell, plus aggravated arson. He's being held on a $120,000 bond. New video this morning shows the moments that a standoff went on for hours in Clarksville yesterday. Police tell us they were trying to serve a warrant at the A&W Motel on Madison Street just after noon on Thursday. Well, the suspect barricaded himself inside. This week, kids have been able to start getting the vaccine, and now health departments in Tennessee are getting us ready. Monday, shots will officially be available in Nashville. News 4's Tosin Bakile tells us how Metro is preparing right now. Health experts say after a child gets their first shot of the Pfizer vaccine, they can get the second shot 3 weeks later. The U.S. Surgeon General said COVID vaccines for children younger than 5 could be here in early 2022. The Biden administration is setting the deadline for some workers to be vaccinated. When the weather gets cooler, firefighters typically get really busy as people try to stay warm. Now, if you have ever wanted to fight fires and save lives, now's your chance. News 4's Joylyn Bukovac explains why Rutherford County is looking to grow their fire and rescue team. The U.S. Justice Department files a lawsuit against Texas over its new voting restrictions. The DOJ claims that the law prevents people from assisting voters with disabilities who can't read or write. Now on 4, a small plane crashes in Georgia, taking down power lines, leaving about 2,500 people without electricity. The FAA said the pilot declared an emergency after taking off from an airport. He brought the aircraft down on a road and eventually landed upside down. A stolen truck led officers on a slow pursuit in Southern California. The chase began after the truck was reported stolen from a food service lot. Highway Patrol chased the driver down through 3 counties. Eventually, spike strips finally blew out the tires. The University of Tennessee will not set up a postseason ban for its football team. The university wrapped up its investigating into alleged recruiting violations. UT started an internal investigation after receiving a tip last November. And this week, the Tennessee Titans will be away from home as they head to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The game will be on prime time on Sunday Night Football. As you are stepping outside, I will say, Stefano, it feels a little bit better this morning. I know you already got your snow shovel yesterday.
I did.
So you're ready.
It's just a precaution for the months to come. Now, there's no snow in your forewarned forecast, so...
A Vanderbilt patient has been charged after cutting a nurse and fighting with officers. Colby Heish was treated yesterday at the hospital. Just about everyone is shopping online this year, and maybe you're still looking for a few last-minute gifts on those Christmas lists. Now that puts a lot of pressure on places like USPS to get everything finished on time. Democrats hope to have everything wrapped up by Thanksgiving, but the Senate is out of session for the next week. The earliest that it could take up the social spending and climate change bill is November 15th. Nearly 100 puppies get the help they need here in Middle Tennessee. More than 500 dogs were rescued from a puppy mill in Iowa. The dogs were living in cages, not knowing how to eat out of a bowl, walk on a floor, or show love. They're now in the care of the American Rescue Corps in Lebanon. The deadly Waverly floods, plus the damage from Hurricane Ida, left vehicles across the nation totaled. But where do these cars go? And how do you make sure you're not buying a car that's been washed away? Call for Action problem solver Carice Jackman has answers. A lot has changed here in Nashville over the years, and if you're wondering how things used to look, we have a way to show you. News 4's Terry Bolger has shared more than 6,000 stories on Channel 4 over 31 years, so we asked him to go dig into his vault. This morning, he's showing us what life looked like on the east side of the river before the Titans came to town.